Though India lags far behind China in several fields, the communist country is getting wary of India's future. Here are 6 reasons why China is afraid of India. Last year, India and the US signed the Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, LEMOA, a military pact that facilitates the provision of logistical support, supplies and services between the US and Indian militaries on a reimbursable basis and provides a framework to govern them. Though the Chinese media downplayed the deal, it has become a big bother for China. The deal means that the US can now dominate not only the Indian Ocean, but also has easy access to South China Sea as the US warships can dock and get repaired at Indian ports. This will dent China's attempt to ring-fence India by dominating Indian Ocean. Technology companies in India have driven growth, created jobs, increased access to resources, education and healthcare, resulting in falling poverty levels and improved lifestyles. According to a report by NASDAQ, India was ranked the 3rd largest startup ecosystem with more than 100 accelerators, 200 active angels, 150 VCs and over 4,200 startups operating in the region. The nation is on the forefront of innovation, technology and entrepreneurship, and 2016 was quite the year for the Indian startup ecosystem, when India launched 104 satellites, breaking the Russian record of 37 satellites being placed in orbit at one go. The Chinese media made light of this achievement, but a few days later, it corrected its stand and said China could learn from India in space technology. What India is doing in the space sector can be the envy of China. It is developing low-cost technology which finds takers in the West. India has already overtaken China in space technology. Increasing connectivity and consumer purchasing power. With over 300 million people having access to the internet, India is now the 2nd most connected nation in the world, after China. The country spent 169 minutes per day on their smartphones in 2015. The influx of low-cost smartphones and laptops, coupled with relatively low-cost mobile plans, have empowered people across the country to connect, especially in rural India. Although we expect this to rise over time, the country still has some way to go in terms of mobile penetration, with only 23 out of every 100 people on mobile. Consumer spending has also been on the rise over the years, and is set to hit 3.5 trillion by 2020, driven by increased access, convenience, connectivity, higher incomes and employment. China is also scared of India overtaking it in manufacturing in the long term as labor costs in China are rising. India is on the threshold of major reforms and is poised to become the 3rd largest economy of the world by 2030. India offers the 3 Ds for business to thrive: democracy, demography and demand. Add to that a tech-savvy and educated population, skilled labor, robust legal and IPR regime, and a strong commitment to calibrated liberalization. The trigger was India's exports to China increasing 42% in January this year. Though China has a big edge over India in bilateral trade, it wants to see if the rise in Indian exports is a flash in the pan or a trend. Where firm CA Technologies disbanded its almost 300-person research and development team in China while setting up a team in India with some 2,000 scientific and technical professionals over the past few years. FICCI report on higher education in India, Vision 2030 states that the Indian higher education system in 2030 will emerge as a role model for high-quality affordable educational system and will become a global magnet of aspiring learners. Never before, China faces dwindling foreign exchange reserves when India is aggressively pushing itself as a destination for foreign investment. India has become one of the largest recipients of foreign direct investment on account of reform measures taken by the government. The government has liberalized and simplified the foreign direct investment policy in sectors like defense, railway infrastructure, construction and pharmaceuticals. It said many new initiatives have been taken up to facilitate investment and ease of doing business in the country, such as Make in India, Invest India, Startup India and e-Biz Mission Mode project.